What's up, beautiful people? It's your boy, the Gaming Goomba, and this video is brought to you by Great Clips. I walked in there and said, make me look like the biggest douchebag you possibly can, and that's exactly what I got. Thank you, Great Clips. Today, as promised, I will be reviewing Nintendo's newest IP on their new console, the Nintendo Switch, ARMS. When I watched the first trailer for ARMS during the Nintendo Switch presentation in January, I was intrigued. I recognized that it was a new Nintendo IP, and then had flashbacks to the hundreds of hours I invested into Splatoon just a couple of years before. However, my interest in the game faded with the announcement of Super Mario Odyssey and the release of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. After I beat Breath of the Wild, and after I poured about 40 hours into Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, my interest hovered over ARMS again. With Breath of the Wild and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe both being Wii U ports, I realized that ARMS was going to be Nintendo's first-party exclusive on the Nintendo Switch. I purchased this game on release day. I had played through the Grand Prix a couple of times, the main single player mode, and I played a good bit online, and I'm ready to talk with you guys about the game here today. ARMS is similar to Splatoon in many ways. They are both brand new Nintendo IPs. They are both primarily online multiplayer games, and they both introduce new, interesting characters with special abilities. Splatoon with the Squid Kids, and ARMS with the special extendable arms. ARMS is an incredibly fun and competitive game. When watching the gameplay, it does look like a bunch of idiots flailing around their incredibly long arms, but when you play the game, you learn how much strategy goes into it. You will not win a match in this game unless you learn how to properly use all of the controls. That includes punching, blocking, jumping, dashing, the rush attack, and grabbing. If you play a match without jumping, your enemies will hug the air and hit you from above. If you can't dash, you won't be able to dodge Fury attacks. If you can't use your own Fury attack, your enemy will always stay ahead of you on the health bar. The only thing that I have found you don't really need to use is the block, because while it does block punches, it leaves you completely vulnerable to grabs. Oh, and that's another thing, the grabs. If you find yourself in a match with a player who prefers a grab fest over an actual fight, the game stops being fun immediately and becomes just completely frustrating. Thankfully, I didn't come across these players that often, but man, when I did, it almost ruined my entire game session. There are a few modes that are played during Grand Prix and party matches that are also pretty fun as well. There is V-Ball, a volleyball game that is actually incredibly fun, a target practice game, which makes you realize how incredibly awful your accuracy really is, Slam Dunk Contest, which is basically a grab fest that's actually supposed to be a grab fest, a team match which consists of 2-on-2, a mode that includes 3 players versus the final boss, Headlock, and the last and least is the 3-player matches. These matches typically consist of 2 players ganging up on one until he is eliminated, and then the 2 remaining players just play 1v1, so I don't really see a point in this mode existing. ARMS is an extremely weird and fun game. It's got that charm that only Nintendo can give a video game. The online works flawlessly, and there's a lot of fun to be had on offline single player modes too. The only real issue I have with the game is the price tag. $60 just seems a bit too high considering the small amount of characters and modes that the game has to offer. I would have really enjoyed a cohesive story to go along with the single player mode, kind of like Mortal Kombat does where they have the cutscenes in between each of the fights. I would have loved to see these characters fleshed out more. These characters that Nintendo introduced are really weird and really cool, but all we get backstory-wise is about 2 sentences provided by the announcer before each match. So I think $40 to $50 would be a much more reasonable price for this game. However, Nintendo has said they're going to release a lot of DLC for free in the future, but I'm judging the game based on how it stands right now. Oh, and one more thing, the motion controls. People have been praising the crap out of these motion controls. And I mean, they're okay, but I feel about the same for these motion controls as I feel about the ones on Mario Kart 8. It's kind of fun to turn them on for 1 or 2 matches, but are you going to go online on Mario Kart 8 with motion controls? No. That's how I feel about ARMS motion controls. ARMS is a really fun and creative game, but it's not perfect. Am I going to go back and play it as much as I did Splatoon a couple summers ago? Heck no. But it's still really fun and really creative, like I said before. And I'm just so happy to see Nintendo trying new things and putting new IPs out there and trying different ideas. Games like this makes me so excited about Nintendo's future. I will conclude all of my video game reviews by giving it an out of 5 score. So I'm going to give ARMS a 4 out of 5. Thank you guys so much for watching my first review on my rebranded channel, the Gaming Goomba. If you like what you saw here today, make sure you hit that like button. And if you want to see more, make sure you subscribe so you can know whenever I put out a new video. Again guys, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next one.